Hey kids, Tavi Rider here. This is a tour of the different kinds of clocks that I've heard of in Minecraft. Maybe there's more. Of course, there's a lot of really inventive people out here, but these are the types that I've been aware of, and I wanted to show off what their differences are, what a clock is, their benefits and drawbacks. So first of all, this is your basic clock. It has 5 redstone torches set up as inverters, so the signal comes in here, this one inverts it, and you set them up in a ring. It's maybe a little more complex with, these 2 layers and torches on top and on the side, but basically it's 5 torches in a loop, and then they flicker on and off in a nice steady pattern. Now that's basically a clock, something that turns redstone on and off automatically. This clock is described as type A. That's just the arrangement of the pieces that go into it. This is how we can talk about different types of clocks. The 5-5 describes the signal that comes out of it, though, because right now this one, it stays on for a little while and then it stays off for a little while, and it stays on and off for the same amount of time, which is why the 2 numbers are the same. And you can see that different clocks stay on and off for different times. So this one over here, you can see it stays on for a very short amount of time and it stays off for a little bit longer. This one is a 4-1, and so there's 4 ticks between pulses, and each pulse lasts 1 tick. What's a tick? Well, let's go over to this one again to see what a tick is. Watch very carefully this piece of redstone and this torch. You can see that when this redstone turns on, the torch turns off. But it takes a second. This torch doesn't respond instantly, and that is the update time of the Minecraft engine itself. It's arranged in ticks to keep things sort of synchronized and keep things sane. So that update time, because in order for a signal to travel all the way around this loop, it has to go through 5 torches. That's 5 ticks. So the length of time that this one stays on and the length of time between pulses is 5. So this is a 5-5 clock. It's another 5-5 clock with a different arrangement. This one is a 4-4 clock. And you can see it has only 4 torches in its makeup. And so this one goes a little bit faster. Now this is as fast as you can get with torches. If you go to a 3-3 clock, the torches will start burning out. You can have other arrangements. Here's a different 4-4 clock using just torches, and here's a couple of 5-5 clocks that are vertical. But that's as fast as you can go with torches. But then they introduced these redstone repeaters, and you can get these shorter circuits. Now, this one actually is a combo circuit. This one has a redstone repeater and a torch, so the fastest it can go is 4-4. Same thing with this one. There's a torch. Same thing with this one. Nice, tiny little clocks there. But this one has only redstone repeaters. And this one's nice and easy to understand, I think. It's 4 redstone repeaters in a ring going around the outer edge, and just redstone connecting them, and this one little pulse racing around. And so it's on for 1 tick when the pulse is over here, and then it's off for 3 ticks as the pulse races around the other side. So this is a 3-1 clock. If you combine signals from 2 different points on that, you can get a 1-1 clock. You can see that that one, it's flickering as fast as you can get this to flicker. It's off for 1 tick and then on for 1 tick. This one over here, well, okay, this one's just weird. It's the same kind of thing, but you combine the signals from all 4 corners in just the right pattern, and there's some weird distance things. It's very flaky, but this one, we actually consider it a 1/2 clock, because you can see it's sort of fading in and out, it's changing, and some things trigger. It's a very bizarre behavior from that one. So we won't talk too much about that one. Now, one of the drawbacks of all these redstone repeater clocks, I guess this one's the easiest to see, redstone repeaters have a bug that when you save and reload your game, the redstone repeaters don't start updating properly. So these redstone repeater clocks have to have a reset button that fixes them. So you can see right here, there's power to this redstone, but this redstone repeater is not sending that signal along. So each one of these, there's a button that you press that sort of jolts these things and gets them to start working again. It doesn't actually power them. It powers this block in the center, and the redstone repeaters don't react directly, but they update themselves, and that fixes the bug. So every one of these has a little reset button somewhere on them to fix them. which is kind of a pain. If you want a clock that just runs all the time, you don't have to worry about if you saved and load or if you ran far away and back again, then you can't use them. Well, you can hook up a regular old 5-torch clock, like these up here, to the reset signal to get the same effect. So this one restarted itself automatically. These are self-resetting repeater clocks, and there's a few different versions of them here. But they get really big and bulky, and I really wish that Mojang will fix that bug with Redstone repeaters so we don't have to do things like this, and instead we could just have these tiny little circuits like you see over here. This next group is pulsars. They're a set of 4 torches that are all trying to power each other. And because of that, they will burn each other out. That's the noise you're hearing. These torches are burning out over and over again. You can get a signal, but look carefully and you'll see that the signal is not very consistent. All these other clocks, it was very consistent output. But this one, sometimes you'll get pauses where it stays on for longer or off for longer. There's 4 different arrangements of these pulsars, but the noise and the inconsistent output, I'm just not very fond of them, especially since you have other options available. Next we have a water clock. This one, you can see a minecart dropped down and got boosted over this pressure plate, and that's your signal, your clock signal. And then the carts fly around up here into this water channel. That's a water source and 7 water blocks. And then they drop down, come around, and reload themselves. So this, every, let's see, 14 seconds, if you have 5 to 6 carts loaded in there, every 14 seconds that signal will fire. If you put in only 1 cart, then it takes 91 seconds. You can't do a number between 1 and 5 carts because you'll get inconsistent output. I mean, you could, but you would get inconsistent output. And so it's pretty much either 14 or 91 seconds. This one here is a cactus clock. This is one of my favorites. This one, you can see a cactus up here, and it's going to grow. And when it grows, it's going to come up against this dirt block that's in the air. That will pop off the cactus block that just grew because it can't grow next to other things. And that cactus block will almost always drop down on one of these pressure plates, and when one of the pressure plates are pressed, it will light them up. I don't have one right now to show you. Let's see, we could maybe show you what it would look like if we did it by ourselves. So if that happens, you can see that this stays powered. And it's going to stay powered for 5 minutes because that's how long it takes for something like this to disappear on its own. 5 minutes with a person around, that is. So it's pretty consistent, but once in a while, when that cactus block grows and then breaks off, it'll land right on this cactus block and it'll be destroyed. You know, these things destroy whatever objects are thrown into them. You see that one that I just threw in disappeared. So sometimes this won't fire as regularly as it should, unfortunately. Okay, next clock. This is a dispenser clock. This one, the dispenser fires something simple. I've loaded it up with a whole lot of dirt. And every so often it will fire a block in here. And you can see that that block is holding the pressure plate. And if that block disappears, it will cause the dispenser to fire again. So I'm going to pick it up right now rather than waiting 5 minutes for it to disappear. You can see it immediately fired another one. And so this will turn on and off about every 5 minutes. Nice and consistent. The drawback is you have to keep reloading the dispenser. Okay, one last clock. This is the minecart clock. Very straightforward. You just have 2 minecarts right next to each other, a booster and then a signal one. And the signal one here runs over a pressure plate. You can adjust this however you want. You can make the tracks longer. You could even have multiple carts. You can get all sorts of different signals out of it. It is a little noisy compared to the nice silent redstone repeater clocks, but it works. And it's kind of neat to watch. It feels almost like a real clock. It's like a pendulum swinging back and forth, and the click clock of it going over the pressure plate. Kind of satisfying. So that's clocks. If you have any questions about these, please post them. I love to get questions and help out people who have questions about these things. I take requests for new videos. I will also be making this world available for download. Look for TaviRider's World of Redstone. The current version is 1.0 and does not have all of these clocks. The next version that I release will have all of these clocks and a whole lot more stuff. I hope this is helpful, and I hope people build some great things out of this.